Hello, and welcome to this tutorial which will explain the basic operation of the Canadian Green Globe's new construction rating and certification tool, how to use it, and get the most benefit from it. Let's start by going step by step through the process of signing up, entering data, and generating the reports. If you don't already have your login ID and password, you have to register by clicking here. Once you have received your login credentials, enter them here. As soon as you have logged in, you will see all of your projects on the Projects page here. Most people will initially have only one project entered, but additional projects can be registered at any time. The first thing you will have to do, once you have entered a project, is to provide some basic information. This information includes the name of the client, the name of the project, the address, and so on. You can also see the menus of the three initial stages of the project delivery. These are the pre-design, concept design, and construction document stages. So here we are in the first stage called the pre-design stage. This stage is optional. Its purpose is to identify the goals and the criteria that the project team intends to pursue throughout the project. Here is where you can identify the criteria that you are likely to pursue or not likely to pursue. This stage also functions as a guide to help you include as many sustainability measures as possible in your project. In some instances, certain criteria may not apply to your project. For example, take the criteria that asks whether you will integrate existing structures and facades into your project. If you don't have an existing structure on the site, then obviously this won't be possible. In this case, select the Cannot Pursue option. As you navigate through the criteria, you'll see tips appear when you hover your cursor over a particular question. These will provide you with more detailed information about the criteria or further information on how to respond to the question. Some questions also have hyperlinks to specific tables. These will supply you with the technical information you need to answer the question. There's also a downloadable manual where you can find this information. The link to the manual is on this homepage. Once you have completed the pre-design questionnaire, you can view a printable report that shows the rating you are likely to achieve. The report shows how you have filled out the questionnaire and the points earned for selecting the criteria. The score for each subsection is shown as well as the overall score. This rating is just for you to establish your goals and scope of the project. It's simply a working tool. It's optional, and it does not contribute to your final evaluation. However, there are advantages to completing the pre-design stage, and we do encourage design teams to make use of it. One huge benefit of the pre-design report is that the format and language are suitable when creating your environmental intent. This means that the report can be edited and used as part of the project's environmental specifications sheets. This is not unlike section 10,000 of the environmental intent section in the specifications sheet set. Once you've completed the pre-design stage, you can proceed to the concept design stage. As with the pre-design questionnaire, the concept design stage is also optional. And like the pre-design stage, it's there to help with the integrated design process. The best way to make use of it is to use it as a guide to aid in deciding what would be the best way to achieve the stated goals, targets, and criteria. It's really just a plain language checklist of strategies for discussion. Used in integrated design charrettes or workshops, the concept design questionnaire helps to ensure that all the members of the design team are fully aware of the energy and sustainability objectives and are working together to find integrated solutions. Now we come to a key stage of the certification process, the construction document stage. Unlike the previous two stages, the construction document stage is required to certify your project. Apart from the online questionnaire, you can also download a printable blank survey, which you can complete independently or prior to the online section. On the left-hand menu, you can see all the sections and subsections of the assessment. You can access these by clicking on any particular item. During the questionnaire, you're required to answer each question with a yes or no, and in some cases, not applicable. If a particular question does not apply to your project, select the not applicable option. The points assigned to this question will be subtracted from the total, so you won't be penalized. In some cases, you will be asked to input your response in a textual or numerical format, which can be entered in the boxes provided. After certain questions, you will be asked to enter a reference. These should refer to the specification or drawing set where evidence of the measures can be found. This will expedite the verification process and you will get your certification faster. On this page, you are requested to supply the building's walkability index. For this question, you will need to access an outside resource, the WalkScore website, which will provide you with the requested information based on the address of the property. Again, you are required to reference where you obtained this information. One critical element of the assessment is to provide evidence of energy modeling. In the energy performance section, you are required to enter the predicted energy intensity as well as referencing the software you use to generate the calculations. We do not specify which modeling tool you must use and will accept those generated from EE4, eQuest, or other energy modeling tools you may prefer. One of the requirements for certification is that the energy model must be reviewed by a Green Globes approved energy expert. This can occur either during the design process or as part of the verification stage. The client must select an energy expert from the list of approved experts and obtain approval from them. The list of approved energy experts can be found under the Resources tab on the Green Globes website. As mentioned earlier, to facilitate the verification of your assessment, you are required to note the specification section or drawing where evidence can be found of the implementation of the noted elements. Apart from the energy model, the life cycle assessment is another key element of a Green Globes assessment. The Athena Impact Estimator is the preferred tool for this element. You are required to enter the data for two potential core, shell, and envelope designs. It is the intention of Green Globes that you select the more environmentally favorable of the two options for your project. Enter the data as generated from the Impact Estimator as prompted by the boxes below. These include fossil fuel consumption, human health criteria, global warming, acidification, eutrophication, ozone depletion, and smog potential of building assemblies as calculated with the Athena Impact Estimator. The outcome of the completed assessment is a printable survey including the entered responses. This not only tells you how well you have done, but also allows you to compare your design score with the aspirational goals as set in the initial pre-design stage. The report gives you the overall score and the score for the individual sections, as well as the number of points you achieved for each of the questions. Following the completion of this stage, a Green Globes verifier will be assigned to ensure all the documentation, specifications, and drawings support the responses given. Should the verifier deem certain responses inaccurate, they may make changes to the assessment. These changes can be viewed online by selecting the blue Construction Documents Verifier tab on the left-hand side of your screen. If there are no changes, or if the changes are not contested, a preliminary or design certification will be awarded. At this point in time, the post-construction stage will become accessible. The post-construction assessment takes place after the building has been constructed. Obviously, this can be several months after the design certificate has been achieved. Responses entered during the construction document stage will have been pushed through to the post-construction stage. At this point in time, the project coordinator, architect, or engineer must once again go through the survey, adjusting any of the responses to reflect the project as it was built. Certain responses related to the post-construction stage are best handled by the builder or contractor for the project. For example, criteria related to certain site management or installation procedures. The builder or contractor will now be responsible for adjusting or confirming the responses over which they had control. These responses are highlighted in green throughout this part of the questionnaire. Once the post-construction assessment has been completed and submitted, it will once again be verified by the assigned Green Globes verifier, And based on this review, a final certificate and optional plaque is then issued. This completes the Green Globe certification process. Thank you very much for taking part, and if you have any further questions or comments about the assessment, please feel free to get in touch with us at info@greenglobes.com.